Heyo everybody, Haku here with my live reaction or read-through for Kubera Season 2 Episode 113, and I don't know exactly how many I'm going to do. 113 onward, we're going to be starting Emergency, so I don't know how many I'm going to do because I'm honestly running really late, and at first I was like, okay, we're going to split the arc in half. I think every arc for the rest of this season is one that I can either split in half and do 3 or 4 chapters each, or I can read the entire arc at once because it's only like 4 or 5 chapters overall, except for a really big one that's like 30 chapters, and for that one I'll just split it into however much I have time for each week. But this week specifically, I am running behind, so I even thought about, I was like, okay, what if I do 2 chapters and then do 3 and 3 for the next 2 weeks? But honestly, I just want to read. Honestly, I just want to read Kubera. So I'm going to make my best attempt to do 4 chapters this week and 4 next week, but we'll see how things go, I guess, in the end. So that was generally the plan, generally how I'm feeling about it right this second. I'm gonna try my best to get to 4, but if after like 2 or 3 chapters it's been a really long time, if it takes me like an hour to read 2 or 3 chapters for whatever reason, maybe there's a lot to discuss, then I'll just cut it here for this week, and then if I do 3 chapters I'll maybe try to do the rest of the 5 next week, or if I only do 2 then maybe I'll split it into 3 and 3. I don't know. Either way, you'll see when the video comes out. You know more than I do at this point in the video. You will know how many chapters it ended up being. But I am excited to read, because I had taken like I think a week off. I think the last time I did a Kubera video was the week before last. I have been really busy with the Tower of God character poll and so many other things. So because of being busy with that, I was kind of unable to do Kubera last week. And also, comments had really cleared things up and had discussed things with me a bunch, but I was kind of getting a little confused at some parts last week. I mentioned last week where I was like, you know, sometimes I feel like I've read things months ago and I have a really good recollection of them, and then sometimes I feel like I've read things like a week ago or 2 weeks ago and I don't remember them very well. So I just went back and reread, and let me tell you, it's been months probably since I read anything on my own or reread anything. Basically the only things I have time for are the things I'm actually covering here on the channel. So it was crazy rereading and being like, wow, I'm like not, you know, discussing things as I'm reading, not reading every word aloud. It's like, wow, I'm reading 5 chapters in like 15 to 20 minutes. But yeah, I just recently went back and reread stuff. Honestly, last resort. Last resort was really good. So yeah, I enjoyed rereading everything. There's a lot that I feel more concrete on now, a lot that I remembered or that was sort of reinforced within my mind. Like, one recent thing I really appreciated was the reveal of like Yuta with the eye color change and stuff, and then going back and rereading, it's like, okay, that makes more sense now. And I love that entire reveal, the conversation with the Ananta that was eavesdropping and everything, was really good when things were finally revealed to Yuta himself. But then, going past that, within the scenes of Lisa's training, it's really good to hold off on the scenes of Lisa's training and then cut back to that after we've gotten the Yuta reveal. So now we're seeing this from a perspective where we, the audience, now know what's going on when his eyes are changing color, but Yuta himself doesn't know, and we see how his conversations with Lise there influenced and impacted him, where he didn't know yet that that's what was going on. So it was really genius to hold off on us seeing that and then do that as a flashback so that we know but Yuta doesn't know when we see those scenes. That was really well done. I thought that was written really well. But most of my like theory kind of stuff is stuff that I've probably already said in previous videos. Things like, they said 300 years ago is when Samphati hit the 5th stage. That's also when Samphati's sibling, I think sister, was killed, and the sister was Jatayu. That's also when Yuta came with the name Jatayu to the Garuda clan. We have the flashback with Yuta and his mom, where he's like, don't you know my name's Jatayu and whatever, and Taraka's just at first like, no, that's not your name, and then eventually she just goes along with it. So from that, it's like, okay, I think that there's a good chance that Yuta I don't know if it's quite right to say he has the power to eat names, but maybe he ate the name of Jatayu, thus kind of becoming Jatayu, and that's going to cause some drama here with Samfadi now being here, plus the whole thing that's going on with Garuda, and Garuda was collapsed when the three siblings were like separated off in the human realm and everything, separated away from the Shura realm, which maybe means that they took some of the Garuda name, being his children, and being split off from him is what caused it. And if so, the obvious thing to think about is it's probably Yuta's fault, but that would be so simple and so obvious and so straightforward that it kind of makes me think it's Kalavinka's fault, just because that would be the biggest twist at this point, because we know basically nothing about Kalavinka. Beyond Yuta potentially eating and taking over names, and that's probably something that not any Taraka can do. It's probably specifically a Yuta thing. The other thing being me thinking with Asha using the search system or whatever, children being killed in addition to the big incident that happened with her, makes me think, my theory before, kind of the same still now, was Asha going around trying to just search for people with the god's name and then going to people born within the proper time frame, trying to find the person who had the power of the god's name. And why does that mean they were killed? Why does that mean they died? Was it a test from Asha? Because when Lise takes fatal damage, she revives, but I'm not 100% sure if Lise can do that without the bracelet. She was tapping into powers even without the bracelet, like when she lost it and moved super fast and everything, and got down from the cliff without remembering it. So she was doing Kubera-ish stuff without the bracelet, so maybe she could have. Maybe that's Asha's test. She's like, well, if they're the one with the power of the god's name, they're gonna revive when I kill them. So maybe Asha was just going through that way until she finally found Lise. But I don't know. Like, again, I don't have enough details to be any more specific than that, but that's kind of my general thought and idea. And also, sorry if the audio on this isn't very good. Another one of the reasons why I said I was running late today and didn't know if I had time to do all 4 chapters is I needed to update a bunch of stuff. There was an OBS update, and whenever OBS updates, I don't know if this is the same if any of you do videos or stream or anything. For me, whenever OBS updates, it completely wipes my sound settings, my audio settings, and I have to go back through and do my audio stuff over again. Plus, when it comes to like my different scenes and sources and everything, I kind of had a mess going on. Like, I don't remember, is this the way that it usually looks when I'm doing the afterwards? Am I usually on the top left? I thought I was usually on the top left, but then I like set everything up before recording and I'm like, this looks off for some reason. I'm like, I could swear that this is the way it usually looks, but for some reason it looks kind of off. So I was like, I swear that's how it usually looks. But either way, let's finally get to reading. Sorry for the long intro. Season 2 episode 113 starts with, I expected it, but I never thought you would really come. Does Akasha not intend on waiting? I swear I say her name with a different inflection every time. Not intend on waiting any longer? She's already waited more than enough. The problem is you've taken too long. So I don't remember the date when he got that 4-year ultimatum, so I don't know if it's already been 4 years or not. But this planet isn't as simple as the other places. There's a 5th Zen god and the half-dragon. You wouldn't be a match for the 5th Zen god. But what's the big deal with the half-dragon? Won't he just run out of vigor if you buy some times while avoiding his attacks? But it seems like he has some clue about Kalavinka, so I'm trying to just threaten him without killing him. Kalavinka, do we really need to worry about her now? I heard from Sagara, and of course, from Marina's perspective, maybe he will just leave the Kalavinka stuff to Yuta, because Yuta said that he would search for Kalavinka in a way to get back to the Shura realm. So maybe Marina will, just leave that to him for now. I heard from Sagara that there's a hybrid from among the Tarakas on this planet. If we kill him to awaken Garuda, we wouldn't need to find Kalavinka, would we? So, again, are they thinking that is the reason that Garuda's not awakened, is because of Yuta then? Then Emergency Part 1. And we see the Gandharva ship that they were leaving on. Wow, I've never been on a ship like this. I thought the interior would be all squelchy, like guts, since the ship's made from Ashura's corpse. But it's surprisingly normal. Was this added later on by the Creation brand? But what do we need to do in Aeroplateau, Asha? Is there a way to kill that red bird there too? I drew the Sword of Return, just like you told me to. And I've been practicing, so now I can summon it well. And some of the other things I was thinking were, was Asha being sent to Aeroplateau here for the conference, so that if they did find Asha guilty or whatever, they figure it would be a difficult place to escape from because it's a big island floating in the sky from what it looks like. Also from the panel when we first saw it, it looks like maybe the sky closed space or whatever is like this like electrical field around it is what it looked like. But also something I was thinking, when Claude and Asha first have their interactions and stuff, there's a bit of stuff where Asha's like, okay, it's like, you can't succeed without sacrificing your cards, and she's like, well, if I don't want to sacrifice my cards, I need to find something else to sacrifice. And we still don't really know what Asha's endgame is here, what the actual plan here. I mean, it has something to do with God Kubera and Vishnu and everything, but the cards that Asha has are pretty good cards. She's pretty close right now with Lise and Yuta and Ran, even though her and Ran have a little bit of an antagonistic relationship going on. Those are kind of really good cards to have, really important cards to have. So if not wanting to lose Yuta as a potential piece on the board, lose Lise as a piece on the board as well, then finding new things to sacrifice might be why Asha decided to go through with, okay, using Hoti Vishnu publicly and then going through with this trial and everything instead of running away when Lutz extended the offer, is maybe Asha saying, okay, holding this secret is a card that I can give up and throw away in order to try to keep like characters like Lise and Yuta on the board for herself. And then I drew the Sword of Return just like you told me to, and I've been practicing, so now I can summon it well. Hoti Kubera is a piece of cake now, and if I just practice Bhavati Kubera a bit more, that won't work. Bhavati Kubera is a spell where it's necessary to observe a live demonstration while you master the art of controlling your body. It's impossible to control your body in flight without the help of an experienced teacher. You can fall another 1,000 times, but it won't work. Then I'd better find a teacher. If I had known that, I would have asked the Priest of Earth. When we arrive at Aeroplateau, I should start by looking for a magician who can use Bhavati Kubera. But I heard it takes a really long time to get there. Don't they give us any food? Is there a restaurant anywhere? I'm hungry. Also, I believe they're on the ship to Aeroplateau, which is the one where Claude went to the control room, so we still don't know what Claude did. Go look for a signboard. Again, I said this too in Discord, I was like, I feel like every chapter has 6 different important things going on, so it's hard to really like get to all of them, or like, you know, necessarily give enough attention to all of them to remember all of them. I have to rest for a bit, so I would appreciate it if you stopped talking to me. Sure, Asha, see you later. And then, that was delicious. I can't believe you actually enjoy the meals here. What's wrong with the food here? Is this not good? I like these character designs. Well, since this is a cargo transport ship and not a passenger ship, the food isn't great. But usually we don't feel very good anyway because of the motion sickness. It looks like it's horizontal thanks to the power of creation magic, but it's actually tilting to and fro. I see. What kind of city is Aeroplateau? Are there lots of magicians? Of course, it has a tower that's received oracles before the Great Upheaval. What a relief, then it should be easy to find a magician who knows how to use Bhavati Kubera. No, there's no one like that there. You'd feel like it'd be the most important place to know, to have somebody who knows Bhavati Kubera. Just in case anybody falls or anything. Or like, I'd be worried about like an edge, like you don't live too close to the edge and part of it just goes crumbling off. There's no one like that there. Strange. How could you not know that when you're here with Asha? Didn't she tell you? That is something that Lise should just get used to hearing. This is the 100th time she's heard this. You can't use earth magic in Aero Plateau, or in the surrounding area. Not even Huti Kubera works there, let alone Bavati Kubera. That's why earth attribute magicians are practically powerless there. That's interesting. Maybe, I guess it's because of the distance from the earth. Being cut off from the earth, maybe, like, weakens their abilities. So, we're going to have Lise here, who isn't going to be able to use her Kubera powers, and also doesn't have the Yuta scarf anymore because it was left with Ron and Lutz. This is where it starts. You're now entering the area in which you cannot use earth magic. And we have a pink sky. We have Yuta at a snowy area. Marna, he's late. I'll go and see what's going on, so stay here for a minute. Don't follow me. Do you intend on continuing to cooperate with the snakes and harming the humans? Yeah, since there's still no guarantee that you can resolve everything. That was the other thing too. Yuta said he would find Kalavinka and a way back to the Shura realm, but in exchange, he didn't want Marna to have to keep working with the snakes. Then the next best plan is to cooperate with them. I have to hurry up and solve both of those problems to get Marna out of here. But I'll have to fight with Cossack in order to find out where Kalavinka is. And I'll have to get the Sword of Return from Lise in order to open the Shura gate, or the gate to the Shura realm. But also, again, I know I keep intercutting, but it's because I just reread. Something else I think in the recent chapters was really good, I think literally just like last chapter, is showing, of course, we have people who want to make exceptions for Yuta because Yuta is useful to them. There are people like what Lutz said, where Lutz is like, I trust because you protected Atera when you really didn't have to protect Atera, that you have the greater good in mind. So even if you did murder all those children, I believe that you have the greater good in mind, so I'll make the exception. And then I think just last chapter it was with Cossack as well, where Lila's like, people could very easily kill you if they wanted to, and there are people who don't like you. They just leave you alive because you're useful. But Asha and Ron are so late tonight. What could they be talking about? Another city? Shura's? I drew the Sword of Return and I've been practicing the Transcendentals as hard as I could, but I guess I still don't have the right to join in on those discussions. Lise isn't at a level where she can properly use spells or Transcendentals. At least one good thing about the Sword of Return is that... sorry, I know there's a misspelling. I almost read it as Sword of Rerun, though. The Sword of Rerun is that other people can't copy it. But it's not even that one weapon is her own. But not even that one weapon is her own. And if she finds out that I'm better at using it, she'd be sad, right? Definitely. This is tough. Nothing's easy here. I wish there were someone who I could ask for advice. Yep, no problem. As long as the priest here approves, we had the note. That's right. Why didn't I think of that before? Obviously a god would normally forbid me from entering the city and would try to remove me. But the fact that he allowed me to enter the city and is just staying still means Agni must know something. Yeah, I'll have to meet him right now. First, I'll go to Atera, and then we hear a crunch. And we have somebody walking through the snow. And he activates this, which will work on her since she is an Agnostica, yeah? To be continued. Or does it even also work on Gnostica? I don't remember. I don't think it works on Gnostica, though, right? It's hard to remember, because there is the one scene where Agni's using insight to look at Gandharva. But I don't think it works because Gandharva is a Gnostica. Again, that's one detail I don't 100% remember. Because I would assume it doesn't work on Gnostica given everything else we know. But then, the one thing throwing me off is there's the one scene where Agni uses it looking at Gandharva that I can remember. So it's like, okay, well there's that scene there, so that kind of throws me off. But either way, with the chapter done, very good chapter as always, let's go check out the afterword before continuing. Okay, the afterword now, Google translated. Although it looks like it's shaking, the package is still there and not moving at all. The power of creative magic, but it doesn't stop motion sickness. So again, you still get the motion sickness, but like they explained in the chapter itself, even though it's sort of undulating and swimming through the sky, the inside seems like it's not moving. Since I'm not saying it out loud, there's no need to draw it like this. Okay? Not 100% sure what that means. Again, I have to kind of try to retranslate these translations in my head as I go. The reason why everyone's wearing the same clothes is because it's a uniform. Their uniform looks cool. At the end of Part 2, Episode 111, an employee wearing the same clothes appears wearing a hood. And Agni, it seems like it's been a really long time since I drew him. If you've seen the author's note for Kubera Part 2, Episode 113, go here. Okay, 86 empathy on this one. So, either way, with a little bit of extra information given to us through the afterword, let's go read the next chapter. 114 starts with Yuta still using insight. Who? She's pretty, but I have a bad feeling about her. I should be able to hear her thoughts by now. She doesn't look very strong. Is she a Nupani? I didn't think I'd see another high-rank Garuda Shura around here. Are you helping the Anantas too? Why won't she say anything? Forget it. Brother, listen to me, Samfati. Samfati? You mean this weak-looking girl is... She gets in close. He partially transforms to get out of there. The snow collapses. Emergency Part 2. She's hiding her power, but why? She could have attacked me from the start. She smiles. I have to escape. While she's still toying with me, I'll wait for even the slightest chance. You don't need to do this. This could be solved just by taking him to the Shura realm. Now's my chance. And then Marna reacts. What the heck did you just do? I didn't do anything. He disappeared on his own. You mean he has a skill that lets him move more quickly than me? That can't be. If he has such a skill, then why... Anyway, I missed him because of you, so he's your responsibility. What do you mean? I've never even seen him use that skill before. Of course you haven't, because you've never fought with a Taraka. It's now gotten to the point where we can barely consider him as a hybrid of the Garudas. I don't know what happened at the moment that he grew, but he's now no different from a Taraka. If he keeps using such forbidden powers and ends up becoming a monster, like his mother. Marna. Okay, sorry I'm cutting off in the middle of a cool line and everything. I think this is very cool because it's something that I mentioned a bit when Yuta first transformed. How when you transform, they made a deal of it being like you kind of have a choice of how you end up when you develop to the next stage. And it seemed like with Yuta's development, he chose to go the, like, if we're looking at it like a video game, like kind of the Shura development seems to be. It feels like he took the Taraka skill tree evolution rather than the Garuda skill tree evolution. Marna, who will take responsibility for him then? I won't tell you to kill him yourself, so just tell me where he might have gone. After watching him the whole time, you must at least know what he's interested in, right? Now we cut away. Wait, we've already used up all of our Hotivayu for today? I thought you said it only took you a day to get to Calibloom. The employees who came with me, then, have almost all gone to Rintalo with Cossack. So we can only move this much each day? Then it'll take us a few more days to get there, and we have Lutz and Ron's group. But why did the Height of Bondage suddenly grab this scarf? Any guesses? I think there must have been a problem when I attempted to modify it a few days ago. What? You were modifying it just a few days ago. The Height of Bondage is originally intended for capturing Shuras, right? I tried to modify it because I wondered what might change if I use materials for capturing. Okay. There was no response when I first remodeled it, but I guess it activated later and latched onto that scarf for some reason. Just change if I use materials for capturing? Is there like a mistranslation or something? I thought he was going to say, or at least maybe my theory as he was going through that sentence was that he was seeing if he could modify it to capture gods for some reason. And of course, because Yuta is technically, Garuda Taraka, he's also technically like the spawn of Kali or whatever, so is like part god, then maybe that's why it was grabbing onto Yuta's scarf. Lutz, how can you be so calm when you failed to remodel it several times in a row? If you just failed a few days ago, doesn't that mean you have to wait another month? Asha's the one who should get that thing back, and yet she was so calm. Why are you all upset? Because I just want to give this back and settle things with her. I wish I had known that you were so useless when it comes to creation magic. Hoti Brahma, and he gets hit. Rana once said something that I really agreed with. Ron needs to get smacked around a bit before he'll listen. I only let her hit me because she's cute, and it didn't hurt no matter how much she hit me. You're not cute at all, not even a bit. And then, this Yuta thinks he's warping to Lee's. Okay, so this is his ability then that he activated. His movement ability isn't that he's moving super quickly or like warping to a random location. He can just bring himself back to the scarf because the scarf is him. It's a part of his body. Lise, I'm sorry to come back like this. I'll leave soon, but just for one moment. Just stay like this for a moment. And then we have everyone reacting. Ron's mind. I love that panel. That's so good. I have to make that an emote or something. That's so good. Wait, why are you holding that, Ron? Let it go. It's getting on my nerves. Hey, I don't know what you're thinking, but I'm the one who's freaked out here. This is no situation for you to be making a face like that. Yeah, also, none of them can actually hear what he's saying, even if it were Lee's. We see the ship again. Anything unusual in the cargo area? I did hear a strange sound coming from it earlier. We have some beeping. Did Claude put a bomb in here? To be continued. This was really good. It felt like we saw just like a little bit of everything. This was an incredibly good chapter. I love this one. And it's so cool because now we have this sort of team separation of the girls being separated going to Aero Plateau and the guys here being separated, originally going to Eloth, but then this is interesting. So going to Eloth, but Yuta kind of wants to go visit Agni, but then hearing that they're going to Eloth, Cossacks in Rintalo. So I wonder, does he try to go to Rintalo instead? Claude is still, last time we saw Claude, he was going to the ship's control room. He also had a package, which is what I'm assuming we're seeing here was in the storage area. So Claude himself is kind of nowhere to be found, much to the chagrin of Lila, probably not actually going back to Rintalo. So, well, we'll have to see. We got more to read, so let's check out the afterword. Afterword this time says, "It's so cold today, since the real weather's cold, I wish the cartoon background was bright and sunny." Then, "The precious forest is being destroyed. It'd be fun to get maybe it wouldn't be fun, but it would be fun to get kicked by somebody." The reason why the cuts in the episode are crooked is because they're drawn based on the single volume version. As I placed the characters on a square page, I gradually ended up dividing the cuts diagonally like this. I think it looks nice. Because the transport ship background's constantly moving, it was like a still building background that couldn't be recycled and had to be redrawn every time. Alright, and then 122 empathy. Lots of empathy on this one. Either way, let's read next chapter. Again, neat seeing the stuff in the afterword as always. Sometimes I feel like it really, really helps out. But even when it's not like a bunch of big reveals or anything, I think just having the extra little bit of information, to me personally as a reader, adds a lot. Like if I were reading this on my own without doing videos or anything, I would totally be reading the afterword after each chapter. That's kind of why I do it like this in a video, just because this is how I'd be doing it if I were reading it on my own. But luckily, even though this chapter was amazing, even though it feels like we saw so much, it only took like 8 minutes to read, which means, that kind of saves me a little time. I have plenty of time. I'm definitely going to try to push to 4, just because even if it's going to take up time that I may or may not have, I just really want to read Kubera. So let's go on to 115. We start at Rentalo Forest of Light, and that kind of reminds me. Okay, so the Shura were outside of Rentalo. They were near Rentalo on the planet, which means actually Yuta's moving away from where Cossack is. Okay, so Rentalo Forest of Light. I can't believe she summoned Samfari. Sagara has more guts than I thought. They changed the Hura speech box color. Couldn't she end up destroying all of you if she changes her mind? It was more purple before than pink. Also, okay, maybe it's just... Okay, it might be because I have, blue light filter on my monitor. That might be why. I thought it looked more purple before, now it looks more pink to me. And also, Cloche's looks less yellow and more orange to me, so it actually might just be my monitor settings. Couldn't she end up destroying all of you if she changes her mind? Don't say that, even as a joke. Still, she seemed pretty polite back then. She's clearly much more powerful than Marina, and yet she bowed before Sagara. I was surprised about that too. Not only is she from the Garudas, which are the complete opposite of us, but she's a 5th stage Rakshasa. I thought she would be just as arrogant as Marina, but I was surprised at how polite she was. Honestly, though, it's not like anyone would stop her, even if she talked down to Sagara, right? Also, something interesting to note about Samfari that I picked up on last time, one of the big things about Samfari's character that they kept saying was, that she reached 5th stage so much more quickly than anybody else. Like, most Rakshasa and stuff don't even reach 5th stage, let alone reaching it as extremely quickly as Samfari. But Samfari's journey from 1st to 4th stage was actually a little bit slower than average. So it's not like she just blew through all 5 stages. Her first 4 stages were actually slower growth than average, but then she jumped from 4th to 5th stage super quickly whenever everything happened with her sister. We have Ryagata silent. Anyway, so what should we do while Samfari's carrying out Sagara's instructions? We have to break down the barrier before we can even attack Rentalo. The turrets around the city seem prepared for anything. Shouldn't we check how much power they have and how they attack? Wait, but where's he? I haven't seen him since Samfari got here. Okay, maybe Kurigam did change the colors up a little bit just to make them pop more, just to make them stick out more. Because I feel like Pingada's was more kind of gray and dull before. Now it's a more vivid blue. So maybe all of them were just changed to make them a little bit more vivid. Since we were already changing things with Marina's, making it white so it stands out more from some of the others. But where's he? I haven't seen him since Samfari got here. He's probably resting after opening the gate. He hasn't been looking so good for the past few days. Wow, that's amazing. How can you tell his condition from that deadpan expression on his face? He didn't seem any different than usual to me. Enough chatter, Huda. You should handle checking the attack pattern of the turrets. Huh? No way, why me? Because it doesn't really matter if you die, but that isn't the case for us. That makes me sad. Don't you think you guys are being a bit too mean? Now, emergency part 3. We're back to the ship. This time it's straightened out a bit from the last few times that Kurigam had to redraw it. I can't use any earth magic at all now. Not even Hoti Kubera. Then if I'm in any kind of danger, I wonder if God Kubera's situation is reacting to Lee's being up here where she can't use Kubera magic, or I wonder if because she's not just an earth magician, but because she's a special case, if she will be able to still use stuff. What am I worried about? It's not like Aeroplateau's some battlefield or anything. If it were that important, Asha would have told me about it in advance. Really, Lise? Does Asha not like me learning magic? She didn't look very happy in the waterways, or this time either. But why? Learning magic's the most obvious way to get stronger. I'll barely be able to stand up to him, even if I do learn spells. transcendentals, and anything else that comes my way. Why is she being so close-minded about me learning magic when she said that she would help me get revenge? If she didn't like it, she should have told me not to learn anything from the moment I pulled out that magic book. At the time, she told me to learn, and now, seriously, what's going on in your mind, Asha? Actually, Asha hates me. She doesn't even hide the fact that she hates me. She's tormenting me on purpose. I know that all of these recent events would make sense if I were to say this, but she said that she would protect me. She wouldn't save someone who she hates that much. I shouldn't doubt her when she's been kind enough to save me so many times. She may say those things, but she probably doesn't mean them. If she really didn't like me, she would have just left me to die from the very beginning. Now we see Asha back in the room. I'm going to forget. I have to forget. I can't waver here again. My wish has always been... She slams her fist down. It's all because of you. You shouldn't have said that. I think maybe it's the discussion at the, dinner table or whatever with Ron that's maybe getting to her. Miss Ashirahiro. What is it? We found a package for you while we were checking the cargo area. The address is marked as Aero Plateau Magic Guild, but since it's addressed to you anyway, you wouldn't mind taking it now, would you? The fact that there's a weird noise coming in... Okay, so at least they address this. The fact that there's a weird noise coming from it's a bit disturbing, but you shouldn't worry since it passed all the inspections before being loaded into the cargo area. She opens it up. There's a note. And Lee's voodoo doll, maybe, because Claude's the god or priest of death or whatever. The head explodes. And then Lee's collapses. Emergency. Okay, so it is a voodoo doll situation. Emergency, emergency. An unidentified explosions occurred in the control room. The vessel... Okay, so it's not her collapsing. It's when the head explodes, the ship itself starts reacting from the explosion in the control room. The vessel's horizontal leveling device is currently not functioning properly. Employees near the control room, please move following Part 1 of the Emergency Procedures Manual. Pavati Vayu. And all other employees, please guide any passengers who are not seated to their seats. Passengers, please follow instructions from the crew. Remain in your seats and follow the instructions of this announcement. Once again, the vessel's horizontal leveling device is currently not functioning properly, as the vessel may undergo high turbulence or turn over. And now we have Lee's. What's going on all of a sudden? I'm still pretty far away from my seat. She's bleeding. Still, it's a relief. Even though I can't use magic, at least I have my bracelet. Huh? What? It won't switch on. And we see God Kubera in gold form. To be continued. Maybe it won't switch on because he's using the power right now. Or maybe it's just him reacting in anger because of what's happening to Lee's. Lots of potential. Moving to the afterward this time, we have you can download Kubera puzzle game from the Google Play Store. I love this little ad thumbnail. Here's a review of Part 2, Episode 115. There don't seem to be any windows on the transport ship, so what does the sky outside look like? You can find out by reading more by reading the emergency chapter. Then Clofe, even if you were here, I wouldn't have said a word, but you're not here today. Where'd you go? This cut was slightly different from the one originally posted in the webtoon, but that little difference made such a difference in feeling. In the end, the revised version was uploaded to the webtoon because many people will see it. Is it the bit with it cut off? The bit with it cut off looks worse than what was actually there. Hold on, let me go look at what was actually there because I thought it was a full shot of the head popping. Yeah, this is the shot in the actual webtoon. This looks, to me, what was Kurigam saying? Cut was slightly different, but there's a different feeling. In the end, the revised version was uploaded because many people see. I guess maybe to make it less brutal looking, because this, with it cut off, looks a lot more brutal than this This looks a little more like cartoony. It's like, oh, it just looks like stuffing inside popping out and everything. Whereas this looks scarier. And then I just drew this without thinking and then tried to imitate it while thinking, is this pose possible? It works. But I let out a quah sound like Lee's. Lee's was hurt and was like, oh my gosh, I'm just not flexible enough. Then be polite is not a typo, it's the correct expression. 86 empathy on this one. So either way, we're going to be empathy ranking. Either way, we got one more chapter to read, so let's go check it out. Okay, we finished things out with episode 116. We have the entire place rattling more as Lise gets flung about. It really hurts this time. I have to hurry before the ship flips over again. And it's upside down this time. Still, if I can just make it to my seat. You can't be here right now. What a relief, it's an employee. Sorry, but would you mind helping me? I heard the announcement, but I'm having trouble getting back to my seat. Well, that's not good. I have somewhere to go right now, so I can't take you to your seat. But I can tell you a shortcut. If you go down this hallway, there will be an elevator. If you take the elevator, you can go right to the hallway with the passenger room. I had no idea. Thank you. What a cute panel. I'd better hurry before this ship flips over again. And then that seems sketchy. This ominous panel here. Emergency Part 4. Let's see. Are all the passengers in their seats now? Not yet. Someone who was traveling with Asha hasn't been checked yet. Lise Hayes. I saw her in the restaurant earlier. It's Asha. Asha, where's the passenger who was with you? Did a brown-haired female employee just come this way? Just now? Was it her? The new girl. Oh, is this Claude in disguise or somebody working for Claude or something? So that's why Asha's suspicious, because they gave Asha the package, I guess. And then all of this started going down. Yeah, she went this way. But Asha, it's dangerous for you to be wandering around right now. You'll have to head back. Or you'll have to head back to... And just ignored. What the... We just said it's dangerous. Should we go after her? I only have one Bhavati Vayu left. Forget it. We're not responsible for high-level magicians like her who ignore warnings and go off on their own. Why should we be worried about magicians like her who would survive even if the ship crashed? True. But why is she looking for that employee? I guess her partner must be in her seat since she's not looking for her. Then I'll mark Lise Hayes as being in her seat. All done. Now let's get to our seats. And again, that might screw things up too. Sir, I just heard that Ron Sirafe passed through the checkpoint. What? Already? And we see Tilda and Saha? I heard that he was leaving this morning. He got here more quickly than I expected. Oh, they might have got there more quickly because of Yuta. It couldn't have been easy gathering enough people who could use Hoti Vayu. Well, actually, he didn't come here using Hoti Vayu. The people who left with him are still passing through the desert. You could have brought everyone with us if you'd come in your Shura form. Why can't you Shurify now? First, we're gonna have to get you some clothes. Is that a fashion trend from another city? Why is he dressed like that? He's so cute and handsome. Isn't that Lutz's brother next to him? The one who's going to be a AA soon? Eloth, the great city of light and creation, eastern outskirts. Shopping street, scheduled for redevelopment. I'm grateful that I got to Eloth so quickly thanks to you, but do you really need to follow me around? You like Lise, right? You should go to her. Are you afraid something like that will happen again? And he nods. I'm not sure how I should comfort you. First of all, Lise says that she doesn't remember anything that happened, and he reacts. That's cute too. It may be dangerous now, but you'll find a solution someday. I know that you didn't mean to hurt Lise. I support you. Cheer up. And then we see him using insight. The poor guy's worse off than me. Looks like he's forced to be single. Single, he thinks. It's the priest. Oh? What could bring him to the outskirts like here? He's always so beautiful. Don't crowd around. And we have Tilda running defense. The guild president has to get by. Ron Sirafe. Hi, you must be busy. What brings you here? Are you here to buy clothes? It's about time you changed that same style of yours. I came here to see you, Ron. The president has stayed up for 3 days in a row, and he hasn't even eaten today. Yet he just used Hoti Shurya 4 times just to find you. Whoa, I'm impressed that you found me after using it just 4 times, when there are so many people around. You should have gone straight to the guild when you arrived. What are you doing? Didn't you get the message that we were expecting you as soon as possible? I did, but it's not like the vote is right now, so I wanted to put on some proper clothes before greeting you. The vote's already finished. You just became a AA magician, Ron Sirafe. Based on your magic test score, your magic ranking is 2nd place, and you may now begin using all of your AA privileges. So now, not only... Holy crap, I got goosebumps. Not only did they, fast track him to be AA, because they're going to be using him, but they gave him 2nd place in the ranking. There's somewhere you need to go with me right now, Ron. It's your first mission as a AA on this planet, and something very important which everyone's survival depends on. To be continued. Okay, I'm kind of glad I ended here with 4 chapters, because that is a killer cliffhanger. That is so good. That is such a good cliffhanger. This really feels like it could have been the end of an arc chapter, whatever you want to call them. That's really good. Okay. Wow, that was an insanely good chapter. And Yuta gets to be here for this too. Okay. Wow, this is exciting. I love the stuff going on with the potential conspiracy and intrigue going on within the ship that's transporting them. I think that's really exciting. I like that instead of just jumping to Aero Plateau, we're doing things with the journey. We also separated Lutz out away from the situation, so if Saha's going to be trying to use Ron here and everything, Lutz is being kept out of it, which is interesting for Lutz's character in the story. There's also something I was thinking that could somebody screw up Saha's plan if they kind of rigged the voting or something to make it so that Ron doesn't get passed as a AA, and then if he didn't get passed as a AA, it would screw up the plan. But instead we're seeing, without even getting instead of off-screening the journey and jumping to Aero Plateau, we're seeing that, but instead of having a big deal about the votes and getting to see everything take place here, we're off-screening that to just throw in this shock of, yeah, you're a AA already, now we need to hurry up and do this mission. That is really cool. Yeah, this was really well written. And it's insane because, like I said, these 4 chapters feel like they could have been an arc chapter on their own, and now I think somebody, it might have been Thibaut, maybe? Somebody said that the arc was backloaded, so the second read-through was going to be more exciting than the first. But this read-through was so good. These 4 chapters were so good that if people were saying that it's backloaded, so next one's going to be more exciting, and this one's just oh, it's okay, it's good too. If this is this good, then I can't wait to see what the next 4 are going to be. Incredible, but we still have one more afterward to go through, and then, let's check out the afterward, then we can go ahead and end the video. I don't think there's more discussion I have here. I kind of talked about things as much as I could as I was going through them. If I think of anything, of course, it can be in the intro of next video, and of course I can talk to you all in the comments and everything. So, for now, let's go check out the afterward and then end the video. Afterward this time, sorry I was so distracted by Abnormal Summit that I stopped writing the review. And then Charlotte Ringle? Charlotte Ringle's first name full name came out somehow. So it's a strangely curious position. This is someone who's already been out there. Think of someone on a transport ship who's not wearing a staff uniform. Hold on, give me a second. Okay, yeah, it says Charlotte Ringle. So there's somebody there. There's something Onare. There's also Charlotte Ringle. Is Charlotte Ringle... Well, they said somebody who's not wearing the uniform, so I guess I'll have to go back and reread since they got on the ship. There's somebody else out there without a uniform that's also, I would assume, maybe there because they're also going to the, because they're also going to the meeting for Asha, the conference for Asha, the trial. And back to this. Okay, so looking at this, let's see. So let's test my Korean reading. Well, I can't really see the full top one. That's Rei, right? That's Rei. And then this, of course, is Asha. The first character is Ah. Second one is Sha. And then that's Ra, of course, that's he, and that's Ro. So very simple. Asha is literally just Ashirahiro. Very, very simple to take from Korean to English letters. Lee's, that's Risu. So, or no, actually that would be, I like misread su as, read, je as su all the time. So yeah, Leisha, because there is no like release, I guess. There is no J really, so the same character is used for Z and J basically. And then Ha, E, A, or S. So yeah, 4 characters for her last name, Ha, E, A, S. So Hyas, yeah. Okay, so hers is pretty simple as well, with Lee's Hyas. Or I guess they could have said Liege Hyas with using a J at the end if they wanted to. And then that's Sha, Ro, T, so Sharot. And then Ring and Nur. So Ringna, I guess is how they're doing Ringle. Ringna. So yeah, and Ringle is how they're translating that. How'd they spell it there? Yeah, they still did the same thing. So yeah. Oh no, that's not that's G. So yeah, Gul. Ringul. So that would be like R I, like the little 2 looking one is R, then the line there is I, then the circle in this context is NG, and then the one up top there, I was thinking that was N as well, but it's G. The horizontal line is typically silent, and then we have the same 2 one there, which would be another R. So it would kind of be like RING/L, because there's no difference between R and L. So yeah, so that's how they came with Charlotte Ringle. And that there, like, to go into the first name, that is like the equivalent to an S, but it's often pronounced as sh, like in Asha. And that there, same as an Asha, that's the equivalent to YA. So it's like not like SA, it's like SYA in Asha's name, and down here so this is like SYA, and then we had R from before, that's an O, and then that is the equivalent to a T, and then another one that's just silent. So it'd be like SYAROT, Sharot, is how they would end up with Charlotte. So yeah, little mini Korean lesson, I guess. Then this is the outskirts area that appears when you pass through the checkpoint east of Eloth. If the outskirts are too flashy, it'll be difficult to draw the downtown area later. So just keep it simple here. And again, with Eloth being Google translated as Elos, is probably because they just use an S character there. Because I think like pretty much any Asian language I've ever seen doesn't have a TH sound. In fact, not just Asian languages, like a lot of languages just don't have a TH sound. Then does Saha look tall? Saha has some heels. Tilda doesn't have any shoes at all. But why isn't Ron afraid of Tilda? So again, afraid of the, I guess, one-shoed Somfadi? Somfadi wears one shoe, right? But then Tilda just walks around with the grippers out here in the big city with no shoes on? Okay, with all that aside, I'm definitely gonna need to go make this into a video. So, thanks for hanging out with me here at the very end, just hanging out for this blog post. But either way, I'm going to go ahead and end things for now. Let's throw things to the patrons and member screen. Thank you so much, all of you, for being here, for supporting and everything. If you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you thought of these chapters, my thoughts and reaction. Can't wait to read again next week. Follow on Twitter if you want. If you want a link to the Discord server, it's free and open for anyone. If you want to help support the channel... Sorry, I'm getting a little... brain scattered, as I do typically in these endings. But yeah, if you want to help support the channel by dropping a super thanks, that's appreciated. If you want to support the channel, get One Piece videos a little bit early, get your name here at the end of videos, then you can join down below to become a member, or go to patreon.com/Haku of the Tubes, or a link will be in the description to become a patron. Thank you to people here who are already patrons and members. Thank you to chosen regulars Evan, Holly, and Bertie Wooster, Magical Girls, Efronono, J.A., and the D-Ban, Jaredin students, David Langstaff and Folded Ghoul, Slayer candidates SG and Stan Cedar, and Pure Elements, Pate Ardealal, and Elsa the Storyteller. Thank you all so much for your support. Thank you for being here once again, and I'll see you all next time.